Drew Hellmich here. Welcome to Screenplay Junkie. If you tuned into our previous episode, I said that we were going to be doing something a little different today. And what I'm going to be doing is a reflection, I guess you could call it that, about the making of my first short film, The Perfect Screenplay. If you want to check it out, there's a YouTube link in the show notes. Now, there are a few reasons why I wanted to make a short film. When I was a kid, I used to make movies using a video camera with my brother's cousins and friends. Storytelling in film has just been inherent to my personality. Fast forward all the way to now, I write scripts. I think I have an eye to direct and the patience to edit, and really overall I'm just willing to learn anything about this industry because I love it so much. My brother Matt is cognizant of good storytelling. We always shoot ideas at one another, and he's also good at making music. My brother Brian is also aware of storytelling. However, his main thing is creating some pretty sick music. And to top it off, my girlfriend is an amazing actress. So boom, I have the resources, the people around me to collaborate on something, right? The second reason I wanted to make the short was simply because I was sick of writing screenplays and then searching and waiting to find someone interested in my scripts that was actually capable of making it into a film. So I came to the conclusion that the goal of this project was to do it entirely by myself, shooting with an iPhone in a limited location with limited camera shots and limited verbal dialogue. And the reason for that was because I just didn't know how the audio would sound on my phone. I really had no idea what to expect going in on this, and at first it seemed a little daunting because it was something new that I'd never done before. Now that I am finished with it, though, and it took me about a week, I'm proud of this little experiment, and I'd like to think I made a coherent short film. It's made me confident, and I definitely want to make more films and collaborate with the people I have around me and those who I still have yet to meet. Okay, so let's get into the process of how I made my short a perfect screenplay. First, you need an idea, right? And at first I had no idea what I wanted to do. However, I knew I wanted this thing to take place in a room or a few rooms in my house, which I narrowed it down to only take place in my bedroom, and to be around 5 minutes, which is sweet because that's actually what I was able to do. Then I did some recon and watched a few iPhone short films on YouTube to get a grasp of what other people had done. And at that point, I was thinking about doing a horror short because most of my ideas, at least right now, are on the horror sci-fi spectrum. I don't know why, they just come more naturally to me, I think. So anyways, I had this vague horror idea about a guy, a writer, sitting at his computer working on a project, but I didn't know what to do with it. I had these other ideas that I wanted to include some Sam Raimi-esque camera movement shots, like from his Evil Dead movies, and that there was some sort of paranormal entity or whatever this thing may be inside the character's computer that was talking to him, but I just couldn't get it going. It was still too vague. I kept thinking about it, though, especially the computer talking element, and I finally nailed it down to a sci-fi comedy type vibe. And the log line I came up with was, a struggling screenwriter finds himself in a peculiar situation when a mysterious computer-based entity known as the Perfect Screenplay offers to write a highly marketable script for him. So, I just thought it was a goofy idea, so I stuck with it. Second is the writing of the script, and when starting this project, this was the area I felt most confident with because to this date of this recording, I've written between 10 to 15 scripts. I can't remember how many exactly. I think 3 of them are feature scripts. One of them I've written through, but it most likely needs more work. They always do. And the other 2 features are still in the bulk of the writing process. And the remainder of my scripts are shorts that range anywhere between 5 and 20 pages. Shorts are definitely my sweet spot right now. I've been able to crank out drafts fairly quick. Okay, now my writing process. Sometimes I'll start out with what I call an idea vomit, which is basically a scattered stream of consciousness with no structure, and its purpose is to just get whatever is in my head out so that I don't forget any of the content that I built with this momentum. And then from there, I'll structure that idea vomit into an outline to clear up the crazy nonsense hieroglyphics from that idea dump. I don't do this process all the time, though. It's really just whatever I'm feeling. It varies. With this project, for example, I just jumped in. I had a general idea of where I wanted to go, and if an idea came up that I hadn't gotten to in the script yet, I wrote it down and got to it later. And the script was only 5 pages, so I wrote it in one sitting, then came back to it a day later for a revision. What I also did in this script was I included a foundation of the types of camera shots that I wanted, which there were only 3, a side shot of me at my computer, a full shot of my face staring at the camera, which is supposed to be like I'm staring into the computer, and a full shot of my computer screen. I only include camera shots on the scripts that I want to make. It just makes it easier as a nice base for when you start to shoot. But I should say, directors and producers that you're trying to work with don't like seeing camera shots included in a script, like at all, unless they're extremely important for the story. It's a collaboration thing. If you include camera shots in a script you're not directing, then it just seems like you're telling the director how to do his or her job and not allowing them the freedom to insert their own creative vision. Third is the prepping and shooting of the film. This is where things were most challenging, I'd say. Before I started filming anything, I was trying to figure out how I wanted to set up my phone to get the shots I needed. I was thinking about buying a tripod, but I was like, nah, I can get away with it by just propping my phone on books or setting it against my computer and whatnot. So originally that's what I was going to do, but then I went to my girlfriend's place and she had just gotten a tripod for her phone because she likes to make vlogs. So after actually seeing the tripod and realizing how useful it was, I decided to get one. And the one I got was only like $15 on Amazon, and it's super durable and it has those legs that you can bend and maneuver around a tree branch or whatever. So yeah, it was a good purchase for sure. When my tripod came in, I was ready to shoot. The first thing I shot was actually the ending of my short. At that time, I hadn't shaved, so I thought it would be a good visual feature that would help display the passing of time and also aid my character's disheveled state. I shot this part during the daytime, and there are 2 windows in my room directly behind where I sit at my desk, so when I started shooting, I noticed that they were giving off too much light, so I ended up covering them with black garbage bags. What I did with my shots was shoot every shot angle consecutively, and what I mean by that is that I went through my script and captured all my side shots in a row, then all my shots on my face, then all the shots on my computer screen. I found that this was an effective and efficient way to make all my frames look identical. If I would have followed my script and jumped from different shot to different shot, it would have been a nightmare because none of the shots would have been consistent. So lump all the same shots together and shoot them in a row. For the rest of the shots of my character up until the 3 weeks later cut, I waited to film at night. I shaved, changed clothes, took the garbage bags out my windows, and yeah, that portion was fairly easy because I had already nailed down a group during my earlier shoot. Now, the most annoying part I found about shooting, and how I'm about to talk about this is not even going to get me anywhere near as describing how aggravating this was getting the shots on my computer screen and text being typed. I did this a lot and it wasted more time than necessary. It was a process of trial and error, so first I adjusted my tripod to its appropriate level so that it could aim at my computer screen. The problem, though, was that I had to put the tripod on my keyboard in order to get the entire screen. Now, this sounds stupid, right? Well, yeah, it was. I don't know why I made it so hard for myself, because when I was trying to type, I couldn't get all the keys I needed. So I did what I could, and when I uploaded these videos to iMovie, they looked pretty bad. They were boring, static, and slow type shots, so I knew I had to redo them. Matt took a look at my first video draft, and he suggested I redo them as well. And the next trial, I just moved to a bigger table. I pushed my computer back to a region that was still in my arm's length. I set up the tripod and just zoomed in until the screen was in a position that I liked. I was able to type. It made everything much easier, and in post, it looked way more fluid. So yeah, that was pretty dopey looking back at it. I don't know, man. I just didn't think of it at first, but it's all good. I know next time to try something new if I run into any sort of problem. And lighting. Lighting was easy. I just adjusted 3 lights in different areas of my room to highlight my subject depending on the shot that was taking place. Fourth is editing. For this short, I used iMovie for post-production, and this was the first time I've ever used it, and really the first time I've ever used a video editing software extensively. I've never used Final Cut or any of those fancy ones, so I can't make a comparison as far as efficiency or if it's user-friendly. Overall, I think iMovie is okay, and before I started to cut down on being lost, I watched some tutorials on YouTube. At first, I thought the program was tough to navigate. However, as I familiarized myself, it became easy and actually quite fun playing around with the continuity and cuts of scenes. Also, getting my footage from my phone into my Mac was pissing me off. At first, I was using AirDrop, which I'll probably never do again because it was lagging like crazy, so I used a USB link to physically connect my phone to my computer instead. And sound. I used GarageBand to add the ticking noise to accompany the text cursor and credit sequence. I was considering making or adding music, however, I thought the droning silence worked better overall. And yeah, I think that's it. My short film is not a pioneering cinematic experience, okay? I just wanted to see what I could do by myself just using a phone, and I'm pretty happy with it. I learned a lot and can't wait to start my next one. If you're interested and want to check it out, you can follow a link in the show notes. If you have seen it, what did you think about it? Did you like it? Was it the worst piece of steaming trash you've ever seen in your life? I'd like to know either way. Just so you know, all episodes of Screenplay Junkie are available on Spreaker, iTunes Podcasts, and YouTube. If you like our content, please be sure to subscribe to all of our channels so you can stay in the loop with new episodes. Also, we'd appreciate it if you gave us a rating or left us comments. Feel free to also send us an email at screenplayjunkie.show@gmail.com. We'd love to hear your feedback. On the next episode, we'll be taking a look at the 2002 horror comedy 8-Legged Freaks, starring David Arquette. Thanks for listening, and we hope you can join us next time.